I've played a lot of these battle royale games lately, enjoying their different strengths and lamenting a few of their weaknesses. It's fair to say that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds kicked off this new genre, taking the world by storm last year on both PC and eventually Xbox One. People all over were asking when, or indeed if, it would come to PlayStation 4. Fortnite, on the other hand, released in its early access form to little fanfare. Its particular breed of tower defense gameplay was fun, its building aspects robust, but most people fell away from it quite quickly. Until Epic announced its own Battle Royale mode. Combining the main game's building aspect and arcade action with the last man standing survival of PUBG, for free no less, many people began returning to Fortnite. PS4 players soon stopped asking about PUBG coming to their console and Epic's game began its meteoric rise. Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room right now, shall we? Fortnite Battle Royale kinda nabbed the idea from PUBG. There's no denying it. The entire premise and particularly the Storm Circle idea came directly from Battlegrounds, but although I initially found this a bit disconcerting, it has become clear that Epic's homage has earned the right to stand on its own. Yes, the basic idea is the same, but Fortnite's shooting, building and destruction mechanics all combine to create an almost entirely different experience. PUBG, to me, is much better solo. There's a real palpable sense of tension that runs throughout every single match, as you have to weigh up your options a lot more carefully while you attempt to survive. I've compared it several times to survival horror games, because not a moment goes by when you can relax. Paranoia grips you as you search houses for weapons and supplies. Did you hear footsteps outside? Is someone already in here with you? Was that movement on the horizon, or just a bush? That's all before you even engage in combat. On the flip side, Fortnite in solo is way too fast-paced to be tense. You don't as quickly, unless you're hit in the face point blank with a shotgun blast, so I found myself far more happy to wade into a fight. There's less emphasis on sound, despite being able to hear the movements of others around you, or gunshots in the distance. It feels less about survival and more about getting into a fight. Where the games really differ, especially when played by yourself, is a point that has to be given to Fortnite. Its constantly shifting seasons bring new timed events, particularly the recent Teams of 20 mode and the 50v50 mode, both of which were far more inviting to players. PUBG has the advantage in having more than one map on PC, with a second coming to Xbox very soon, but the core objective remains the same. There's nothing wrong with that of course, as its continued success shows, and the way each map looks and feels does force you to change your tactics, but Fortnite's variety keeps things fresh on a regular basis. With these big team modes, solo players like myself can still jump in and maybe earn a win that I would otherwise struggle to achieve on my own. Even on PUBG, a game which I much prefer on my own, I've yet to get higher than third place. I mean, I'm happy with that as I'm not good at online shooters, so third is higher than I ever expected to get, but others might not feel the same way. And it's those players who are probably migrating to the competition, at least when it comes to playing solo. Playing in groups of up to 4 players though, is a different beast entirely. I've played PUBG in a team before. You might have even watched myself, Chris, Nickel and Adam as we failed spectacularly on the Xbox version. It removes almost all sense of tension from the game. You're still watchful and things can still get quite intense, but you feel empowered by those at your side and it becomes more video gamey, for lack of a better description. Fortnite, however, thanks to its more fast-paced and arcadey nature, becomes far more fun as part of a team. The strengths of others can mask your weaknesses. Mine is building, because I'm far too slow at it, but on the whole it just generally feels like Battle Royale was built around team play. Whereas in PUBG some of the tension is lost in team games, in Fortnite it creates a more fun dynamic, especially when you're forced to start building a fort of your own in the final stages of a match. In PUBG, the final stages of matches, solo or team-based, invariably comes down to who can hide better in tall grass. Both games could stand to learn from one another though, especially if they're to stay competitive. Fortnite seasons and PUBG's extra maps can only keep things fresh and exciting for so long, but what if both games used the competition's ideas? PUBG on PC has the ability to have new things like the zombie mode, so why not bring that into the game as a full-fledged, timed event on both formats? Why not try something similar to Fortnite's 50 vs 50 mode? Given the success of timed events in games like Overwatch, it makes sense that PUBG is now trying something similar to keep the game relevant. Fortnite Battle Royale uses these events, but having a solitary map will soon begin to grow tiresome. Adding in a new map, with more to come over time, would ensure that Fortnite stays the massive success that it currently is. Of course, there is no